Hello, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to HOR Round 2 of Season 10. It's me again, K1813M, or you could call me Khalif. And here we are at the Canadian Grand Prix. It's gonna be dry in the qualifying session, and just recheck the weather. And it's gonna be wet, dry to wet in the race. So it's a mix of conditions again from last race to now. As we see a couple of drivers coming in, and immediately, this is not what I expected at all. We see Michelle in the Williams already disqualified for parking dangerous location. You're not allowed to park there, sir. As you see, a couple of the cell drivers are coming out to the pit lane on another lap to set their banker lap. Just so as I see a V car of Kampa is approaching the final straight to start his lap. Warming up the tires, it's pretty important to warm the tires before starting a lap. And Kampa is coming out of the final corner, and are the world champions. He's opened up the DRS and crosses our finish line to start his lap. And it's a good turn one, and heading into turn two. You need a good traction out of that corner to get a perfect exit out of that. And here comes the twisty section of between Lewis Hamilton and Sebastian Vettel back in 2019. Was at a 5-second penalty and lost a beat too. Now coming out of that corner, now using the DRS, heading into the tough chicane. You need to get that right to avoid validating your lap. And now here comes into the one and only hairpin. He did a very good exit out of that corner to get the perfect exit, as I said before. Now opening up the DRS, second to final DRS. And he's using a bit of a slipstream on a McLaren ahead who's about to start his lap, I believe. Or, I believe that's Morrison, and using the slipstream to his benefit. And he has a back of 1 minute 9.886. And Trent follows in behind on 1 minute 10.6. GFS Sigel is on a 1.9.9. Just under a tenth away from provisional pole. And Jesse is set up for position 4 of 1 minute 10.767. I thought Costello was on the lap. I think he validated there. Morrison also validated his lap after getting into the fast lap. See, Jesse Riz is done a 1 minute 10.698, dropped to P5, just got a 1 minute 10.468, but Clipsy has done the same time exactly as Kappa of 1 minute 9.886. I don't think I ever seen that in HOR history before, so that's the first, I believe. Bennett B4 gets a 1 minute 10.2. Which is pretty impressive, but these two drivers have the exact same time. Maybe we'll see the exact same time once we get to the final runs, but who knows? But that's pretty impressive on these two. Exceed Fresh has done a 1 minute 10 flat, or dead, sorry. and Chimp. And P5 is set at 1 minute 10.183. Let's take a look at Kieran, who's about to cross the start and finish line, goes up to P6 of 1 minute 10.224. And that's so far it's a solid quality between the two Alpines. But it's only the start of qualifying, so there will be more lap times to come and more faster lap times. As obviously a track evolution, thanks to that. And we can see now I can see Morrison, who's heading into. Oh, I thought he was on a lap, but he's just letting the Alpine of Ben B7 letting go by. And yeah, he is on a fast lap, which also means he's set at fastest sector 2. Let's see what he can do. Is approaching the final corner. Sorry. You need to get that right to avoid track limits, and he's crossing the line. Here goes provisional pole of 409.670. That's a 2/10 improvement from Campo on P2. You can see he is starting his lap right now. He's starting his second run. And now coming out of the turn 3. Heading into turn number 4 to 5. I almost thought he got the track limits, which would have mean he validated his lap, but no, he hasn't. But that was close enough. You need a good traction out of this corner. Opposite the DRS drains a bit of his battery, as you can see. We just opened up the telemetry. Needed to use a bit of ARS to get through the hairpin. Also enable lap data for you guys. Using ARS dropping it to 15%, now 9%. He's basically under 10%, which means he is on a low deployment mode, and he's at the World Champions, but not enough to retire on qualifying session, and he does not improve. He's already down by 2/10 on his personal best, which is a shame. That's not what you wanted on his lap, unless he's on a year's tire. No, I think he's on a new set. Let's take a look now at the Sauber of GFS Stieg. Set up fastest sector 2 by just under a tenth. And uses a bit of his battery, opens up the DRS, heading into the chicane. He gets a good exit out of that corner. Thought he was going to use a bit of slipstream there, but no, Alpine is just way too inside line. And uses a ERS and opens up the DRS, heading into the final stretch, or final straight, sorry. Now heading into the chicane, and out of that World Champions. He used a bit of slipstream on the Merc, but he goes up to P2 and sets a personal best of 1 minute 9.870. And Casella gets ahead of the Sauber of 1 minute 9.752. That currently puts him up in P2 with 8 minutes to go. Now let's take a look at Clipsy, who's approaching the end of Sector 2. Yesterday ERS and it's on a hot lap. Some people are using a bit of a medium and a hot lap, and he sets a purple Sector 2. I don't know how much that improvement was, but he set a fast Sector 2. And he is still on a hot lap, goes up to Wall of Champions, depleting all of his remaining battery, and goes provisional pull of 1.9.436. And it's a House 1.3 currently, which is obviously, as a former House driver, that's pretty impressive. Let's take a look now at Ben, who is set at a faster Sector 2 and nearly a 2/10 improvement. Using his battery, opening up the DRS, heading into the second and final straight. Exiting out of the Wall of Champions, goes up to 7th, now 8th, and 2/10 improvement, but not enough, close enough to clips you in the Haas. It's just only 200ths of a second away from Clipsy, with 5 minutes and 47 seconds left in the qualifying session. Let me just open up the and as you can see, Campa has just set its Sector 2. I'm glad I caught that just before I looked at the track map. Currently P6. Where can he improve? Can he get provisional pole? He's exited out of the World Champions. Gets it to the line. Goes up to P3, just a 10th away from Clipsy. Is currently on provisional pole. Is there anyone else? Yep, you can see Chesney is currently at P13. Is he gonna set fastest Sector 2? Let's see. No, he hasn't, but he is on a 10th improvement on his personal best. Let's see what he can do. We're heading into the going into the final sector, opposite the DRS, heading into turn 13, aka the Wall of Champions. Opposite the DRS, I think he might have hit a bit of a Wall of Champions there. And that's a second down, which means, yeah, it's all because of the contact on Wall of Champions, which is a bit of a shame, and he has not yet improved. But he still has time to come back into the pits and hopefully improve. You can see Fresh, currently P10, in the Aston Martin, going into turn number 8 to 9, exiting out of turn 9, heading into turn number 10, into the airplane, gets a 2/10 improvement and a fastest Sector 2. Now heading into the second straight, open up the DRS. This is a hot lap as well. Also the DRS trying to stay in the inside line, and that's P5 and 2/10 improvement of 1 minute 9.784. Let's take a look at Joe the SWCFC coming out of the Wall of Champions, open up the DRS, going in the outside line to get the maximum speed possible. Now running into turn one, cutting a bit of the curb there, but also to get the faster lap time. And now running into turn number 3. And now coming up to the first DRS zone. Opens up the DRS, using a bit of his battery, heading into turn number 9. And going down in the inside line to minimize the track distance. I think he had a bit of a wheel spin there, and he uses a bit of his battery, trying to get a slipstream off the Merc, I believe it was. Yes, it is. And now heading into the final corner and the Wall of Champions. What can he do? He's going to open up the DRS and using all his batteries again. He stays. Oh, I didn't notice he just validated as well, which is just a shame. Let's take a look now at GFS. That's a Provo Sector 2 for the second, but there's a Haas of Clipsy who's just behind him, or sorry, my bad, you've just validated. And now coming up to the Wall of Champions, manages to stay within track limits, open up the DRS, using a bit of battery, and he goes Paul 1 minute 3.833. Sorry, my bad, I said Paul, but that's Prejal Paul currently. But let's see what the others can do. Maybe they can beat the Sauber GFS time. Let's take a look at the bend. He's 200s down on his personal best. But he's trying everything he can. He's trying to follow the Aston Martin slipstream, and you can see the Mercedes of LWF has just set at the exact same time, but it's two different drivers this time. Of 109.383, but Ben, who's 200 down this through sector 2, gets a veritable 1 minute 109.319, which is impressive. But can anyone meet that, or is that it? And 12th position of the Canadian Grand Prix. He's your full sitter man and going to be the race leader in the start of the race. Well done, Ben. Absolutely amazing. And that's only 6 hundredths ahead of GFS in the Sauber, which is impressive. And that, ladies and gentlemen, has been qualifying session around the Canadian Grand Prix. So Ben gets a pole position of Formula 9 3.19, which is pretty impressive, followed by GFS and the Mercedes of LWF, who got the same time, Clipsy in P4, Kappa P5, Kieran P6, Casella P7, Lucas Champion 8, Josh in P9, and Fresh in P10. Rounds of the P10. Rounds of the top 10, sorry. And now heading into the race, it will be dry at the start of the race, and then we'll progressively see the wet coming along later on this race. As the drivers are preparing for their strategy, their fuel load, or any setup changes that they use to qualify to transition the race. And yeah. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. And it's away, lights out and away we go. Ben has the Hannibal bits for start. And the GFS, and Ben has just crashed. I don't know what's happened there. Oh, Clipsy had a severe collision with Ben. I thought he just spun himself out, but no, he just got a collision from Clipsy. That's unfortunate for him. That's gonna look into the stewards after the race, but it's completely on Clipsy's fault because he got the 10-second time penalty of that. But anyway, GFS and the Sauber leads the way after Ben crashing out. He's still in this race, just pretty much last. And here are your possible race strategies, but that doesn't matter because there will be rain coming along in this race. And you can see GFS has made 8 tenths ahead of the pack. And you can see Jose in NP7 battling it out with Morse in NP12. You cannot go possible can't be wheel to wheel into the final chicane, which is pretty much impossible around in the final corner. But it's GFS behind GFS is LWF and the Mercedes in P2. Clipsy with a 10-second penalty for the collision to Ben Crook. To Ben in the Alpine. Currently in P3. Casella is in P4. Which is pretty impressive. But obviously, as a rebel driver, Lucas Champion in P10. That's not unexpected, but let's see what he can do throughout the whole race. And you can see GFS has lost the position to WF, has lost the lead, sorry, my bad. And LWF is just the fastest lap, 1:12.502, but it's only a second lap. So there can be somebody else getting the fastest lap, but currently LWF has just managed to get ahead of the Sauber. Really hope it won't be a boring race, just like at Miami. You can see a bit of the train has been separated. It's a train from P6 to P1. I mean the top 6, and separated by P7, and you can see Fresh in the Aston Martin has just jumped ahead of Jenga Boy in the Sauber, goes up to P7, but and he's also gonna lose a position, battling it out with Jimp. Goes up, goes ahead of Josh, and Chip promotes up to P8 currently. But let's see what we can do. Let's see what they can do. As it's only just lap 4 of the Canadian Grand Prix, and you can see Lucas Champion, who is looking to make a move, but wasn't close enough to make a move on the Sauber of Josh. There's also just the P11 battling it out as well. You can see GFS is closing up on the Mercedes. Oh, I thought he got. Did he get the DRS? Oh, yeah, he did. But wasn't enough to close enough to WF. Yeah, let me just enable the telemetry. I think I heard someone hitting the wall, heading into turn number 5. And there's a new rule now in the league that you have to do 2-stop no matter what, which is pretty interesting, and obviously because of this game has a higher tire wear than before. And as I speak, you can see Trent has gets up ahead of the Ferrari, and he had a bit of a moment, which he kind of leaves. Oh, I thought that could leave Chelsea Race a bit of opportunity, but Trent had a bit of a moment out of the Wall of Champions, and you can see Kieran in the Alpine gets a 3-second time penalty, including Morrison, who just got it as well. Which is really a shame, as it's still he's gonna lose out a very few positions because of he's gonna lose a few positions unless other people could get track limit penalties, which is very possible because Canada is the hardest to get away from, to avoid track limits, but it's doable, so anything is possible. And I think someone has made a stop, and there's a yellow flag, and Chesney Riz is the third driver to get a 3-second time penalty down at P16, which is a bit of a shame. And I thought he would win, as I saw in the Discord chat. Yeah, but it's a shame that we just had the worst luck. Anyway, you can see Aston Martin and Morrison battling it out. They're just too far back. Let's take a look at the leaders. We thought the EF has position, and Constella on lap 8 goes on the mediums, and it started to rain. It has started to rain on lap 8. I am not sure, I didn't notice before. Maybe it just started raining, and he's got on intermediate tires, including Aston Martin, Joe and George, and the Sauber has just got a 3-second time penalty. And that's 5 drivers was got that 3-second time penalty. So these so the medium or hard runners should try to pit as soon as possible because it started to rain. So I expect everyone to box. And there is a GFS who's leading the race. Now goes on to intermediates. And I should say that, and that's a confirmation that the intermediates is the best try. As you can see, DRS has been disabled, which means intermediates is now a good tire to be on. And regardless, they still have to make another stop because the 2-stop, the mandated 2-stop is required even in the rain. That's right. You can see Kappa has left a bit of track, which leaves Kieran a bit of opportunity to try and go past the vehicle driver, and he manages to stay ahead. I thought he went a bit wide there, but no, he has managed to get ahead of the V-carb of Kappa. He goes up to P5. But he has that 3-second time penalty, and Kappa was looking to make a move, as Casella has is a 6th driver to get a 3-second time penalty, who is currently promoted up to P5, and Fresh has made a pit stop to go on the intermediates. And you can see the two drivers of Aston and McLaren battling it out. Josh was also looking to make a move there, but also possible to make a move out of that corner. And Ben is the 7th driver now to get a 3-second time penalty. It's pretty tough to not get any warnings or penalties around here. And GFS has made 1.7 seconds ahead of the Mercedes. And can he stay in the lead throughout the entire race? As I only think it will only be intermediate throughout the entire race. Well, no, it could actually be also full wets by the end of the race as well. Let's see, maybe it'll come even sooner. But we'll have to wait and see. Yeah, I forgot the camera isn't the same. But that Mercedes is slowly catching up to the Sauber. If I keep this up, he can possibly get the lead back. I'll have to wait and see. Let's take a look at Barkmar, nearly the top 14, as Chesney and the Williams has got a 3-second time penalty. That makes him 8 drivers to get a 3-second time penalty. So far, no one has gotten 6 seconds. Or the drivers all got 3 seconds, which is, yeah, I mean, 3 seconds can still cost him. Start to get tired, and Lucas Champion was P6, now dropped to P7. He had a bit of a moment there, and because the champ goes up to P6 in the Ferrari, and now he's on to battle the Campo for P5. Let's take a look at Chesney Riz, who is battling the America of Trent in P14. Goes up to P14 with a 3-second time penalty and goes up ahead, and you can see that Trent has made a pit stop, and I think it is time for the full wet tire. But let's see. Oh no, he goes on intermediates, and he got damage, which I didn't notice before. Yeah, he got damage, and he's on to repair his front wing, and that drops him up in last in P17. And you can see the Ferrari, sorry, I almost said Alpine, goes up to Champ, goes up to P5, and now he's on to battle, unless Kappa can get ahead. It's gonna be close. It's not possible to go to side by side around here, and he just goes ahead of the Ferrari once again. But Kappa is not giving up. He's going on the outside line, going into the inside line now. Tries to make a move, and he regains P5. But let's see if Kappa can also try to make a move again. He does not want. I mean, obviously, you don't want. And Lucas Champion was looking down to make a move, and I think I saw Kieran and the Haas of Castella battling it out. Guys, Castella tries to go for a move, which he has done, and but the Campa is still side by side, heading into the hairpin. Gives Castella a bit of a space, which also you should. And Castella goes up ahead of the Alpine, but Kieran in the Alpine tries to get back ahead as Chesney gets a 6-second time penalty. First driver to get a 6 second, and he lets Casella by because he was in the inside line. He has a bit of a contact there as Josh gets a 6-second time penalty as well. The Haas and the Alpine are battling it out for the podium position, and Kieran has just went off the track. I think he locked up a bit there, and the chip has gone past the head of the Alpine. And he's now inside, still inside of the podium position, which is still in P3. As you can see, the Red Bull of Lucas Champion is trying to go for the move in the inside line, and I think he had a bit of a contact there on Kampa. But not bad. But Kampa is trying to make a move once again, but he has less than 10% battery, which means he is going to be a bit slow on the straights. And Joe has got a 6-second time penalty. That's the third driver to get it 6 seconds. Which is not what you want. As I thought Josh would try to make a move, but it's impossible. It's almost possible. It's barely possible to try and make a move there. As he's still within the train, which is quite good. He's still at the points, so you can try to make a much better as you can. I don't think. Yeah, I'll just focus on the train. And you can see, I thought Josh was looking to make a move on the straight, but wasn't enough. I thought I saw someone trying to make a move. Yes, I saw him. That's Kieran and Costello. And Chip goes up to P3. I think Costello lost 2 positions between the Ferrari and the Alpine. And you can see Kampa, I think, just regained the P6 ahead of Lucas Champion now. And I think Lucas Champion has had a bit of a contact a bit with the grass. Yeah, but let's take a look at the leaders. Was just under 5 tenths between the 2 leaders, and the Mercedes is trying to battle for the lead on lap 18. Well, always has been. And you can see the Red Bull of Lucas Champion was trying to make a move on the V-carb of the sister team. And has gained a P6, but Kappa had to let go of Kappa because you cannot go side by side there. And Kappa has got a 3-second time penalty. was in P7. Can lose a bit of positions there, but he will only lose out to the SNO of Fresh, unless he can get a penalty, or any other drivers has got a penalty, who gets a penalty. And I think it's started to rain heavy now. I think it's heavy rain, I'm pretty sure. I was gonna look at the leaders, but it's still the similar gap as before. As they're both using ERS to try to stay ahead. Let's take a look in any case. So far, everyone has made a two-stop except for Trent and the Alpine Ben. Which obviously, regardless of the width, you still need to make a two-stopper in this race. And I think Jenga Boy just got another 3-second time penalty, and you can see Costello has made that two-stop, and now we could go on and not worry about making another pit stop. Scarlett P13. Everyone else has to make a pit stop. Was so far made only one stop. You can see Josh in P8 trying to battle for P7. Tries to go around the outside, but he goes for the switchback, but he didn't have a good exit compared to the Aston Fresh. But he's still using a bit of battery, and so does Fresh. But he has less battery than Josh, and he's and Josh is trying to find a way to try and close up to Fresh and make a move again. As you can see, the Williams of Michelle in P12 gets sorry, that must have been my lag from my end. Sorry about that. And yeah, just has now 9 seconds time penalty. And as I speak, Joe in the Aston Martin of P9 gets a 9-second time penalty. Of course, the guy in P9 gets a 9-second penalty. Coincidence? No. And you can see Kappa is trying to close up and regain the move on Lucas Champion, and just has gotten another 3 seconds. and now into double digits of penalty. Is on 12-second penalty now, which is a shame. But I think, wait, I think he did he get? I'm not sure. Anyway, and Jesse has gotten another 3 seconds, which totally brings up to 9 seconds of penalty. And Josh was trying to make a move, but it's not possible to make a move out the outside. He made contact with the Aston Martin. Uh, and GFS has made another pit stop, which completes the 2 stops, so he's safe. And that promotes LWF, sorry, up to P1, but he has to make another stop. And Chip has had a bit of a moment there. But he still manages the gap ahead of Alpine of Kieran. See, Champo, and you can see another penalty goes to what was it? I think it was Jesse Williams, if I'm not mistaken. You can see fresh, and I heard someone made contact in the wall. And the two Aston Martin are pitting at the same lap, almost close to each other. But I think Joe got a bit of a held up there. But regardless, I think he can make a faster pit stop. The glitch, which is obviously alright. You can see WF has come in to make a second stop. I thought he will make. I thought it was the first stop, but no. That promotes Kieran out to P1. Is still on one stop, and GFS on 2 stops, so he is currently an effective race leader. And Joe and Aston gets another 3-second penalty, and he's the second driver now to get it into the 12-second mark. 12 seconds, sorry. And the Kappa has just hit the wall there. and Karen comes in to make the second stop of the race. Let's have our new safety car as well, which is obviously as you saw in Tier 2 race as well, there was no safety car. And there's no safety car so far here either. Um, there's only 9 laps left of this race. You can see the Mercedes of the LWF is closing up on the Sauber. Now heading into the hairpin. I thought it would make a dive bomb there, but no. Yeah, the bottom top 14 are so far behind. So let's just focus on the people who are in top 10. Also in top 12, sorry. I thought Mercedes was close enough to try and make a move, as he was 2/10 under 2/10 of the Sauber, and it's currently Sauber 1-3. But Jenga Boy has also got 12 seconds of penalty, which is gonna drop down around. You're still gonna be in the points, so around top 8. And as I speak, you can see Lucas Champion is trying to make a move, and I think he just got a track limit warning there. But Kieran is still possible to try and make a move, but fails to do so. As Kieran is using a bit of his battery to try and close up on the Red Bull driver. And he's trying to avoid the dirty air, as the dirty air is a huge factor. I didn't notice he's on a wet tires as well, which he has done on the last stop. And he's the only driver who was on a full wet tire, and you can see Jenga Boy has gone into intermediate, and Chelsea Riz is the first driver to get it to speed in the pit lane, which is unfortunate for him. And LWF goes up to P1. I didn't notice he made a lead, but he is ahead of the Sauber now, and he's created an 8-tenths gap. Let's see if he can try to gain some time on the Sauber behind. But yeah, that's impressive from the Mercedes. I heard somebody had to tapping the wall as well. So far, not much moves has been happening. Um, uh, and you can officially see WF has made a second, almost a second gap, as GFS is using tons of his battery to try to close up to the Mercedes. Um, uh, it's also starting to get boring, but like it wasn't much boring as it was in Miami. Um, but it's all right. And now we approach the 5 laps left of the Canadian Grand Prix. And Chip is kind of lonely, pretty much lonely, yeah. Um, hmm. Sorry, I was gonna look at Kubzi, who's trying to make a move. Who's trying to make a move on Josh, who's battling it out for the points. But regardless, he can still get points anyway because he has gotten 12 seconds worth of penalty there from my end, sorry. Um, and Josh has another 3 seconds penalty. Go now he has 15 seconds. And Clipsy also is the first is lost count how many drivers has gotten penalties now, but Clipsy has a 3 second penalty. But still, regardless, he can still finish ahead. But the Sauber and the Haas driver is not giving up this fight of but George has a 15 seconds penalty, sorry, um, which is ideal. He should be battling for the position, and he's literally 4 seconds wide. And which gives Ben and the Alpine a bit of opportunity to try and go past the two drivers to battle for top 10 for P10. And yeah, and now as we can see, Lily F has created a 3.4 seconds ahead of GFS, but we'll get back to him at the final lap. As we see, so far not much battles. And now heading into the penultimate lap of the Canadian Grand Prix. It's LWF as Eclipsey gets another 3 seconds of penalty, which means he's gonna lose out to Ben. I don't think much moves will be happening so soon, unless somebody decides to send a dive-bomb. And the leaders has just started the final lap of this race of the Canadian Grand Prix. Scusella has 3 seconds, another 3 seconds of penalty. The total amount has 6 seconds now. Oh, and I thought the LDF has made a mistake, but no, that's just a lapped car off Trent on last place. Just make sure nobody. I don't think anyone can make a move. Well, let's take a look at the man who has pretty much led the entirety, almost led the entirety of the race. Elderly F. He's becoming the first man to go on season 10, and now as he approaches the final corner and now exiting out of the World Champions, he is going down in the inside line and wins the Canadian Grand Prix. Well done, LWF. That's your first race win in HOR. Absolutely well done. GFS has to come home in P2. Champion completes the third position of the podium. Lucas Champion in P4 was gained 4 positions, but mostly gained from Chimp there. Kira in P5 rounds up the top 5. Fresh in P6. Kappa P7. And Joshua was in top 10 or somewhere P9, sorry, around P9. Has been demoted to P14 now. was P30 for a bit second there. And Jesse has to come home at V15. And that has been the Canadian Grand Prix. No safety car whatsoever, including in Tier 2 as well. And here we are at the podium celebration, and you can see LWF has won it. He has won the Canadian Grand Prix. So please congratulate him as a spray shop. Your race winner, yeah, fastest lap goes, but fastest lap doesn't count anymore. Rare today was the champ, but obviously that was determined in the Discord. MOZA says that my Castella, the cleanest driver looking champion. Also, no points goes toward any specific. And LWF and Mercedes has won it in P1 because GFS sells for second, Champ P3, Lucas Champion P4, Kieran P5, rounds out the top 5, P6 Fresh, Kanapa P7, and I didn't go all the way. Anyway, that has been round 2 of season 10 around the Canadian Grand Prix. And next race is Austria, which is a good track, and also which are very hard with track limits. It's a weekend one. Not sure if I'll be here next week, but we'll see. And I'll see you next week probably. See you. Have a good day, everyone.